Research Center on Artificial Intelligence was founded under the auspices of UNESCO. IRCAI has started a top 100 study to unearth the amazing work being done by AI colleagues everywhere.
And who are mobilizing their diverse skills to make the most of artificial intelligence by ensuring it serves the common good.
Challenges of our age, as captured in the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Please kindly confirm that you can hear my voice loud and clear. You're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. Please, I would love to see some emojis in the chat room if you can hear me loud and clear. Let's have some fire emoji or the emoji that you like to have in the chat room, if you can hear me. So good evening, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for reactions from the room. So you're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. My name is Anu Yeniro. I work with Data Scientist Network, and I'm going to be anchoring this event with my colleague in person of Olalekan. Olalekan, can you say hello to the house? Okay, I think we're experiencing a bit of challenge there. So like I said, my name is Anu Yeniro, and I'm going to be anchoring this session. So this is DSN Career Fair Event 2022, and we're happy to have you here. Before we kick this meeting, please let's quickly just run through this event, the rules of this event, so that we can have a short time. I believe and I'm trusting that at the end of this event, we'll have a very, very interesting time where we would all have had cause to learn and improve on our data skills. So, like I said, I'll just run through the event rules. The event rules run thus. Your microphone is expected to be mute. So you're expected to mute your microphone when not speaking. Please kindly leave your video off to save your data and to also help the bandwidth of your internet. So kindly ensure that you leave your video off to save your data. Please ensure you use a headset or F1. Apologies for that. I guess that was a mistake. So I'm going to be running through the event rules for now, as we are expecting every other person to join. Ensure that you mute your mic when not speaking. Please leave your video off to save your data. Ensure that you use a headset or F1 if possible, so that you can hear clearly. Make sure that you use and you raise your hand. Use the raise hand buttons for questions. And you can also use the comment section for questions. I mean the chat. You can use the chat in case you need to ask any question. You're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022 once again. Stay tuned as we're going to be starting shortly. So I'm just going to run through one of our videos again. Listen as we wait for others to join. Thank you.
Research Center on Artificial Intelligence was founded under the auspices of UNESCO. IRCAI has started a top 100 study to unearth the amazing work being done by AI colleagues everywhere.
And who are mobilizing their diverse skills to make the most of artificial intelligence by ensuring it serves the common good.
Challenges of our age, as captured in the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations.
Yes, good evening once again. My name is Anu Yeniro. You're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. We are happy to have you on board. You're welcome. Kindly do all to drop your name in the chat session, in the comment section, so that we can get to meet you. My name is Anu Yeniro, and I'm going to be hosting this event. I'm going to be facilitating this event today. With me, I have my colleague, Olalekan. Olalekan, are you ready to say hello to the house?
Hello, everyone. My name is. Hello, everyone. My name is Olalekan, and I'm so excited to be here today. I'll be co-hosting this event with Anu Yeniro.
Thank you very much, Olalekan. So you're welcome to Data Scientists Network. We're going to be starting shortly. Let's just give a 2 to 3 minute benefit of doubt to allow some other participants who we are sure that they are also making way to join in this session. So as you wait for that, I would love to just play one of our videos which speaks to our current AI research hub at Yaba in Lagos State, Nigeria. So let me just quickly run through the video. Just take time to enjoy the video as we wait for other participants to join.
Imagine the
Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. Like I said earlier, my name is Anu Yeniro, and I'm going to be research today's event. If you're just joining, please drop your name in the comment section and let's meet ourselves. You're welcome to DSN, Data Scientist Network. So I'm just going to be moving. I'm going to be running through these event rules again in order for us to have a fantastic event and a very, very, very productive and enlightening one. I'm just going to be running through some of our event rules which I have put together in order for us to have a very productive event, like I said earlier. Kindly ensure that you mute your mic when you're not speaking, and also ensure that you leave your video off in order to save your data. Please ensure that you're expected to use, you're advised to use a headset or an earphone if possible for you to have clarity of audio. Ensure that you use your raise hand button for questions, or alternatively, you can make use of the comment section in the chat box. So you're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. I'm so happy to have everyone here. I'm co-facilitating with me today is my colleague, Olalekan. Hi, Olalekan. Are you ready for us to kick off?
Yes, I'm very, very much ready. Good day, everyone.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's just move on to the next point, which is our agenda. Let me just run everyone through our agenda, what we have to do today, which is just as straightforward as it is. One thing I would say to everyone is it promises to be very, very interesting and enlightening. It promises to kick off your career. I'm sure at the end of this session, you'd be so much productive, and you have a clarity as to how much what your career path will look like after this session. So you're welcome again, once again, to DSN Career Fair 2022. So our event agenda around us. So we're going to start with about DSN. From there, we're going to move to welcome address. And from our welcome address, we're going to move on to exploring the future of data and AI skills. Afterwards, we're going to jump quickly to creating career growth plan. Then we move on to meet an expert, which is going to be in form of a career breakout room. We're going to have a career breakout room. I hope someone is very, very happy about that. Please drop that if you're happy about the opportunity to meet our experts in different career breakout rooms which you have put together. And finally, we're going to do more on the just before you go. So we have a little bit of information to quickly pass across. So once again, you're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. Stay tuned as we move on to talking about DSN. So I don't know if at any point in time you've heard of DSN. Please, let's just meet ourselves in the chat room. Please kindly drop a message in the chat room if you're joining DSN for the first time, some of my colleagues are there who are going to welcome you the DSN way. So let me just run through while you're doing that. DSN, as we call it, is Data Scientist Network. So initially, we were referred to formally as Data Science Nigeria, but and I'm going to do a little bit of introduction as to how we came about our name Data Scientist Network. So DSN, formerly known as DSN Data Scientist Network, formerly known as Data Science Nigeria, was initially tasked or had a vision of raising 1 million AI talent, which we have probably moved to it for the past 5 years. However, we transitioned into a global organization with bigger opportunities, bigger vision, and bigger impacts that we're running with. And this brought about our revamped commitment, which is to also raising the 1 million AI talent and also building AI solutions that will improve the quality of life and well-being of 2 billion people in the emerging markets. That looks quite big. Please, can I get reactions in the chat room, in the comment section, if you feel that that looks so big and DSN is really how to impact the world. That's what we do. Thank you very much. So our renewed focus will deliver on our vision through a renewed focus on 3 core areas. So we're looking at achieving our 2 billion numbers. We're looking at raising our 1 million AI talent and building the AI solutions, which would enhance and improve the quality of life and well-being of 2 billion people through 3 core areas. We had actually worked this into 3 renewed focus areas, which are community for learning and research, product development for social impact, and partnerships for solution delivery. So if anyone asks you, how is DSN looking at achieving the 2 billion target, just say to them that community for learning and research, product development for social impact, partnerships for solution delivery, which we are pretty much sure that we're going to run. And with this 3 renewed core focus, we're going to achieve our 2 billion people in emerging market that we're looking to enhance. So quickly, let me just run you through how we have evolved over the past 5 years. So we have evolved as a learning and community organization to research and social good applications. Then we transitioned or we moved on to supporting corporate organizations by building and developing and deploying solutions to them. Now, what we are looking at now, which we have also started, and you're going to see during the course of my presentation, is working through our startups. We just don't want to do this just alone, but we're going to be working with startups or we're building startups, SaaS ventures, AI vertical partnerships, and AI for national development. So we're looking to achieve AI, 2 billion talent, 2 billion persons that we're looking to support in emerging markets. This is how we have transitioned over the past 5 years, and this is where we are and what we are moving on currently. So this shows our evolution for the past 5 years. Now, like I said, we are 5 years old. We're just moving into our 6th year. And for the past 5 years, we've recorded some major milestones. Some of those milestones, I'm going to be walking us through that quickly so that we can see how far DSN has gone. I mean, what DSN has done. So DSN is the #1 AI learning community and solution delivery network in Africa. So DSN, Data Scientist Network, is the #1 artificial intelligence learning community and solution delivery network in Africa. This award was won at the My Impact Award at Deep Learning in Durban 2019. This was won at My Impact Award at Deep Learning in Durban 2019, awarding us as the best and the #1 learning community and solution delivery network in Africa. So we have also moved on, DSN currently, as like I said, sorry, apologies, 1 minute, can I go back a bit? So DSN also, we've won quite a lot of, sorry, 1 minute, please. Okay, so like I said, yes, we won the #1 AI, the #1 AI learning community and solution delivery network in Africa at Deep Learning in Durban in 2019. Some of our work has also been presented at foremost global scientific AI conferences. So we've presented some of our work at top line level. We won the Best Poster Award at the Global Economic and Computation Conference. So this is DSN winning the 21st ACM conference, present at 21st ACM Conference on Economics and Computation here. This is an award that we won. We won the Best Poster Award at this very session. So DSN also
came out as the only African finalist at the X Prize. I mean, the X Prize award. We won the X Prize award as the only African finalist here on building advanced AI algorithm to address COVID-19. So this is one of the things that we have won at DSN also. Please, I want to see your reaction in the comment section. Let's just give it up for DSN. So if you had joined this if you had joined this session earlier, you notice that I actually played a video here showcasing 2 of our products that were selected at the 2021 Global Top 100 AI Products by UNESCO IRCA High. So this is speaking to 2 of our products that we developed. One is the EdTech AI Adaptive Learning Engine, which was delivered to support quite a lot of students in some, I think that should be last year. This supported over 8 million learners. And the second is a Prescribe, right? Is an AI-powered optical character recognition OCR system that aims to mitigate medication errors through automated digitization of handwritten medical prescriptions. So these are 2 of our products that were selected among the top 100. So please, let's give it up for DSN. Let's give it up for DSN. We were selected, 2 of our products actually featured on this top 100. It's not a big deal. It's not a small deal, rather. Please, let's give it up for DSN. Let's give it up for DSN. So once again, you're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. My name is Anu Oyeniro, and I'm going to be facilitating this event. You're welcome to DSN. DSN, like I said, was initially known as Data Science Nigeria, and we're now referred to as Data Scientists Network. So thank you very much for staying. We're going to move forward in this presentation, but I'm talking about DSN, what we have done as DSN as an organization, how we have transitioned over the past 5 years. One of the few things we have also done is DSN released the first artificial intelligence and Python programming book for elementary students in Africa. Please kindly give it up for DSN. DSN released the first beginners AI and Python programming book for beginners in Africa. So and this I can say to you that has seen quite a lot of download, and this is applicable. This is available when you need it. Please, some of my colleagues in the chat room are going to be dropping links to you accessing this book. So you can check book. You can request for this. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Apple. It's available on Google Play Store, and it's available also on some of these e-commerce platforms, Jumia. So some of my colleagues are going to be dropping that in the comment section. So for you to have access to this book. So this book is so very, very nice that it so works on just an elementary person that doesn't understand anything about AI or Python programming. You having access to this, I tell you, you'd so much understand and love to create a career path in AI and data science. So we're still talking about DSN. So DSN has a dedicated AI research lab in Yaba. So this is what our training room looks like. This is what our research and our robotics lab looks like. So earlier on during the before this session kicked off massively, I also played a video talking to our AI research lab and all. So like I said initially, we transitioned to a global organization, and this is some of our global impacts and some of the innovations and some sectors that we're trying to look at as an organization to work in, which we have kicked off, starting from career tech to fintech, retail tech, edtech, platform and health tech. So we as a tech organization, as an AI organization, we're looking and we're developing solutions that we believe would enhance the quality of life and well-being of 2 billion people in the emerging market. So like I also said, if you remember during the course of my evolution, talking about DSN evolution, I made mention of talking about AI startups. So this is some of the startups that we have currently that we have incubated. They have gone through incubation. So if you have an idea, you're sure you have an idea, you want to run it, DSN is available to help you incubate your idea, develop your idea, and help you assist to develop those solutions, which is also going to contribute to development and enhancement of those 2 billion persons we have spoken to. So for you to join our DSN AI startup, some of my colleagues are going to drop the link for you to access that platform. Thank you and welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022 once again. So shortly before we go on, I'm just going to talk to everyone in the chat room. I hope you've been enjoying your stay. You're welcome to DSN Career Fair 2022. My name is Anu Yeniro, and with me, I'm going to be co-facilitating this event with Olalekan. So Olalekan, do you want to say hello to the team before we move on?
Hello, everyone. My name is Olalekan Israel, and I'm so excited to be in this event as well as you. I would be co-hosting this event alongside Anu Oyeniran. So if you're excited about this session, please kindly drop your favorite emojis in the chat box. I can assure you that you would actually enjoy this session. Let's move forward.
Thank you very much, Olalekan. So quickly, I'm just going to be speaking to our DSN community. If you remember, I spoke about 3 core focus areas, which we have developed, which we have reworked, and we have revamped to supporting and delivering our 2 billion target, as we refer to it. So one of the core, which is like the core of our organization, which we refer to is DSN community. We're so big on community that our community is our core. Now, DSN community, like I said, you can say is the bedrock of DSN. Our vision is to raising 1 million AI talent. So DSN community is looking at raising 1 million AI talent in 10 years, as we believe that we'll continue to train and we keep talent across Africa with our AI Plus community. So, some of my colleagues are going to be dropping the link in the chat room for you to become, for you to join our community. Our community is far, wide, and rich. I mean, you're going to enjoy quite a lot of things joining our community: access to learning, access to professionals, access to mentorship, access to solutions. So just do well to click on the link and become an AI Plus community member, which is majorly driven by DSN. So thank you very much. So to effectively nurture and sustain our trained talent, our AI Plus community provide an enabling and collaborative platform. So in our platform, you have access to, like I said, you have access to quite a lot of mentors, executives, researchers, and this speaks to our communities. So this is the diverse communities that we have. We have campus communities, we have city communities, ladies in AI, we have AI Plus professionals, kids and teens, AI for schools, AI for executives, AI researchers. So it actually cut across every different sphere. I mean, it cut across spheres of geography, your demography. It cut across anyone you really want to talk about, talking about your age, talking about your profession, talking about your career. So we have different communities to take care of that. So you're welcome to Data Scientists Network. We're formerly referred to as Data Science Nigeria. We're happy to have you at our event today, DSN Career Fair 2022. So why join DSN community? I'm not going to stay long here. So the reason for joining is just simple as it is displayed here. I'm sure you can see you have access to mentorship, you have access to training, you have access to conferences, you have access to jobs and referrals, and you have access to carry out your research. So we're also big on research as we're expanding to different countries of the continent. So please do well to just follow up. Some of my colleagues are going to be dropping that link once again for you to become a member of DSN community. So this is what our calendar looks like. This speaks to activities that we have throughout the whole year across different categories. Like I said earlier, speaking to our campuses rather, our communities, and that will be city communities, speaking to our professionals, executives, speaking to our, different and diverse groups, categories that we have in our DSN community. So shortly before we go into this, I would advise, and I would also want to quickly run through our rules, our event rules. Like I said, please kindly ensure that you mute your mic if you're not talking. Ensure that you make use of the raise hand button or drop your comment in the session if you have questions. And you can kindly do well to put off your video in order to save your data. So we're going to be moving quickly into our welcome address. And to take our welcome address is no one other than our legal and admin officer in person of Temitola Ajekibe.
Hi, thank you so much, Hanu. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me in the chat box, please. I want to confirm if you can hear me.
I hear you, Temitola.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, live and clear. We can hear you, Temitola. Okay. So I think she's having a little bit of challenge with a network. Okay, so in order not to really take our time, we're just going to move on. So let me just do that on behalf of the organization. So welcome you again to Data Scientists Network. I think I've done justice to that, but you can feel well and do good to join the charts. The links are going to be dropped by some of my colleagues for you to know more about Data Scientists Network. We're happy and we're glad to have you on the call today. Please sit back and enjoy the session. So we're going to be moving quickly to this seminar. To do this, I'm going to ask my co-facilitator to just take this. Now, exploring industries, increasing demand for data skills. That's what we want to talk about. And 50% of all them. Hi, Temitola, do we have you now?
Yes, I think it's because I'm not a host. Apologies for that. I was trying to unmute myself. But can you hear me loud and clear now?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you. Good evening once again, everyone. You're welcome to DSN Career Fair. It's my great pleasure to welcome everyone on board on behalf of the management of Data Scientists Network. I would like to say that you are in the right place at the right time. Opportunity, they say, is everywhere, but it's those that see it and also make good use of it that thrive. So I would like to encourage you. I'm sure that our speaker, they are ready to deliver this evening and to share so many information with us. But with the information that we are going to receive, I would like to say we should have an open mind, be ready to receive, whether you're an enthusiast, you're already in the profession, or you're moving to the stage of being an expert. Have an open mind to receive. And when you learn about the opportunities this evening, don't be afraid to go after it. Be courageous. Be courageous to go after your dreams and your passion. There's a saying by Stephen C. Organ that says most people miss great opportunities because of their misperception of time. So you don't have to wait. The time might never be just right. You need to just seize every good opportunity that you receive. I would like to say welcome once again and do have a great time. We are glad to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Temitola. Really appreciate that. So because of our time, I'm just going to be moving quickly to the introduction of our first speaker, and that would be anchored by my colleague. So Lekon, you can do the honor of introducing our speaker, then we'll just have him.
All right, everyone. Thank you for your persistence and commitment to joining this event. We're so much excited to have you here today. We're very, very much excited to have you. Can we see some fire emojis in the chat box from our participants? Can we see some fire emojis in the chat box? All right, so quickly, let me introduce our first speaker. Michael Olafusi is a financial moderator and business data analyst specialist. He is a certified, He is a certified advanced financial modeler, a chartered stockbroker in Nigeria and member of UK CISI. He is a 7-time Microsoft MVP, that's most valuable professional. It is the highest recognition the Microsoft gives an industry expert. He is also a Microsoft certified trainer with MCSA BI reporting, MOS Excel 2013, and Microsoft Excel 2010 expert professional certifications. Prior to becoming a full-time consultant, he worked as the service delivery manager for 21st Century Technologies, business and MIS analyst for Comviva, Airtel Africa CRBT operations, and as a BSS engineer for Nokia Siemens Networks. He has been trading stocks since 2006 and actively participates in the Nigerian and US stocks markets. He has built tools around the financial markets and has worked on a return driver model for a foreign hedge fund using Bloomberg Terminal APIs, Excel VBA, and stochastic models. He has done several financial and data analysis projects and trainings for telecommunications companies, oil and gas companies, FMCG companies, financial services companies, health services companies, aviation companies, and NGOs across the globe. Michael is a professional speaker and trainer. He has a master in financial engineering, MSCFE from WQU, and MBA from University of Nicosia, Cyprus, a BEng in electrical electronics from Federal University of Technology, Akure, and a diploma in stress management from Stonebridge Associated College, UK. He is addicted to business and financial data analysis and enterprise solutions development. He is a developer of the Nigerian Data Office app for analyzing Nigerian financial markets and Power BI stock analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just welcome our speaker, Michael Olafusi. Mr. Michael Olafusi, you are very much welcome to today's event.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I was almost getting intimidated by the profile you were reading, like, who is this person? Okay, so welcome to everyone. I hope you hear me clearly. And just want to hear from us in the chat box, you know, yes, if you're hearing me clearly. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see my slide. If you see my screen and you also hear me clearly, just say yes. Okay, awesome, I see the yeses. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen. Wait, okay. I'll share the entire desktop. All right, so I hope you see my screen. It will even help me see the timing too. So I intend to spend, you know, about 20 minutes so that it will help us get back on the schedule of the other speakers. All right, so what's the topic I'm having to, it's going to be like a discussion. If you have opinions, please feel free to share. You know, I'm just sharing my own experience. We all have diverse experiences. I know some of you even know a lot more than I do, or you know some aspects I do not that others can benefit from. So please, you know, I'm not here as a teacher. I'm here as someone, as a colleague, to share some insights that everyone can gain from. Hopefully, you too can share yours. So, exploring the trends of industries increasing demand for data skills. What do we mean by that? The truth is that the world is changing. Apologies for some of the background noise. I'm actually somewhere in a public space that I'm hoping they won't put me out. So exploring the trends of industries increasing demand for data skills. What do we even mean by that? I want you to look at keywords. Number one is the trends. That means what is happening right now, what is happening, what the future is already indicating to be, like what's happening recently, pointing us into the direction of the future. And the second part is the data skills. How does this tie with data skills? Okay, so I'm going to try and show us some things. If you look at my screen, let me just check if anybody's saying anything in the chat box. I hope nothing is blocking my screen, right? Okay, awesome. So you all can, I'm going to clear all that I have, but I want you to see my screen, just only my screen. So I'm moving around the things that comes from Zoom. So the world of work is changing. You know, 300, 400 years ago, it was industry, let's say 500 years ago, it was industry 1.0. It's many in the world. So people who are in charge then, if you're an engineer in industry 2.0, if you're an architect, you know, if you are someone who could design things on processes, you know, who could fix issues on the assembly lines, you are like king. If you're talking about in-demand skills, then, you know, everybody wanted their children to be engineers, wanted their children to be architects, wanted their children to be the people creating those systems, you know, the people who are not going to be raising any heavy equipment, but, you know, they are the ones controlling everything, right? And so from there, we move to industry 3.0. And industry 3.0, that's where computers, so talk about computer age. So that's where we started using computers. So not everybody that were engineers made it anymore to that stage. So we started having computer science guys, people who could, you know, build things that will replace, you know, some of these let me just say mechanics and electrical. I don't want to use the word engineers as such, but those who needed to oil things to make them work. And so with computers and all, we could multiply our productivity, like 100-folds, made it possible for companies to operate across branches, across geographical locations. And so in that industry, the kings were people who like computer engineers, the guys who their job was really like in demand, their skills were in demand, were programmers. They are still in demand now, but anyway, that was the start of it for them. But right now we're at the beginning of Industry 4.0. In fact, I can say we're already in Industry 4.0, right? And if you look at the slide, the image to the right, you'll see that Industry 4.0 is an embodiment of cybersecurity, Internet of Things, augmented reality, big data. It's just the interconnection of everything. If I want to set up a big organization now, right? I don't need to have computers in-house. I don't need to have servers in-house, right?
My apologies. I think our speaker is experiencing a little bit of.
I think someone
prompted you to unmute. I guess so. Apologies.
Yes, but someone keeps muting me again. So maybe they should stop muting everyone, because when you mute everyone, it means me also.
Yeah, exactly. Apologies for that.
No problem. I know why it was.
Just to write this on Skype, like if it's 062.
Sorry for the.
And also the level of Skype, like if it's 062 from Lomet. This service requires at the
So Industry 4.0
Skype, like if it's
connection of all of these separate devices. So it's what is making the world a global village. You've always been saying, what people have been saying in terms of like human beings can move around. Now it's not just about systems, architectures, company, everybody's mobile now. I'm going to show you, I can be in Nigeria and I'm working for companies outside the country. I can be in Nigeria and we can be a company in Nigeria and all of our infrastructure is hosted in Canada or in the US or somewhere where we can take advantage of cheap data resources and compute services, AWS, think of Azure, right? That's what is Industry 4.0. The fact that there's a movement away from people owning infrastructure to sharing. There was a time our founder, Doctor has always been saying that sharing, there was this year it was big on like the sharing economy, and that's the truth. Industry 4.0 is all about not just people having silos of infrastructure, but now everybody's sharing in terms of compute, in terms of the compute resources. You're having a farm, and you can have a large farm in Nigeria, and you can have, your HQ in Switzerland, Estonia. And what's happening? They are seeing everything happening on the farm. There are sensors. There is everything that they are keeping track of, and so that's why you have a lot of companies that you don't ever see their offices there, but you feel them. See Uber, see Bolt. We use them daily, but today none of us can actually say we know where many of us don't know where their physical offices, But a lot of the team, when you send emails, when they're working on stuff, it is one central office, could be in Estonia, could be in the US, that is doing all the work. And what's making that possible? Industry 4.0. So now to wrap it up, once you understand that this is the current trend and it's going to keep growing more and more, right? So what are the in-demand skills? The in-demand skills, if you look at my screen, can you see the top 10 emerging skills? What can you see that is occurring there more than once? Can somebody put in the chat box? Can you see a particular skill set? This top 10 on the right side, where you see 133 million, jobs that are being looked through, and then they're looking at all the roles and they're saying these are the top 10 emerging roles. Which one do you see happening, again and again, right? Can you put in the chat box? What are you seeing? Oh, awesome. You can see data there, right? can see things that are related to the data analysts and scientists. That's the number one. The number two is closely the same thing in AI and machine learning. And then if you look at number six, big data specialists. So if you have a data analysis skills, right? If you are playing in the data domain, I don't think you go hungry. You will never be wanting of job. And it's something that keeps, that demand keeps expanding. You know, the whole blockchain is sitting on data. Yes, we are calling it blockchain right now, but let me tell you, what is it doing? It's a ledger. If you know the meaning of a ledger is like a record of transactions. And what's a record? Is data. So whenever we're talking about the future, it is data driven. Data is at the core of it. So if you can just move yourself into that space, you can't know everything. It's like a universe. You have to pick your own niche, right? But the key thing is, first of all, stay in the right universe. Don't go and be in the wrong universe, right? So what am I saying? Top 5 in-demand skills: data analysis, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud computing, digital marketing. And then what are the skills that, let's start talking about very specific skills, right? So people analyzed job listings in the whole of, if you look at the link, I've shared this file, so you will get this slide. I don't know how the host will get it across to you, but I've shared it. So they analyzed job listings on a particular very popular job platform, and they look at all the jobs that are related to the data analysis space, right? And they started looking at what is it that employers are looking for, right? Over 50% of the job listing required people that are skilled in SQL. Guess what? About 45% required someone who is skilled in Excel. You know, because Tableau was fairly popular at that time, so there was Tableau, but now you can swap where Tableau is for Power BI. Power BI right now is overtaking Tableau, so you can swap their spots right now. Power BI is at the end of this my chart, but you can swap it to where Tableau right now is. So what am I trying to bring home to us all? If you choose any of these skills that you're seeing on this slide, right, your game, you won't be lost of, you won't be confused about how to get into this space, okay? So again, I want you to put in the chat box for you, which of these skills, you'll see PowerPoint. PowerPoint actually ties in with as a presentation part of some of your analysis, especially if you're working with decision makers, you're creating management reports at some point. If you're not using Power BI or a BI tool that does automatically some kind of slides, then you will find yourself needing to be able to do infographics, being able to do some of your presentation of your analysis in a PowerPoint kind of way. So, you know, it might look like why somebody put in there, some companies will deliberately ask for it. So I wanted to put in the chat box for you, which skill are you working on? Which skill do you already have, or which one are you trying to work on? You know, I want to see in our chat box what skills. Also, I see Python, SQL Server. What's the difference between SQL and SQL Server? SQL is a language. It's the whole, just like someone saying, what's the difference between, you know, Python and a Python on a PC, you know, and the environment where it runs. The SQL Server is where the SQL gets implemented. Okay, so great. I see. Awesome. People are picking the right things. I see what you're picking. Great. So you have all the answers are correct. Now I want to wrap it up, right? Put in the energy, right? Put in the energy into whatever it is you're doing. Why? I'm a living example of results. This is my profile, right? I wanted to look at the arrow on the right, see my current rate on a platform where it's a US platform, $85 per hour. I'm sitting here in Nigeria, right? My fees are low. I have data, I have internet, and all I need to do is to work with local clients, earning, set my rates in dollars. I don't even need to physically travel over there, right? And then look at this arrow on the left. I work 60 hours a week. You know, and currently I'm engaged for 55 hours a week. Do the math. Take 55 hours a week, multiplied by 85, right? Again, this is the arrow, okay? And then, right? Now, what is not a nice sum of money? Isn't that a nice sum of money? Now, what is the point I want to bring up? This is the reality of many of us. All you need to do is learn these skills. Learn these skills. Go on platforms. Be part of DSN network. Be part of a community that exposes you to the community, right? Be part of it. Be part of market, right? And I explain on the screen, you'll be very committed to what your reality will be, right? So the opportunity is there. Like they say, talent is evenly distributed. Whatever little you know, everybody understands that the mechanic that we all look down here in Nigeria, what they earn outside the country, right? Many of us would be ashamed, to put our own bank account beside their home. So we are lucky. The skill we have does not require us to look for a physical car to fix, right? So the same little skill you have, whatever stage you are in your analysis, that's key. If you position yourself right, and someone's going to pay you a premium, they will pay you well, better than a mechanic, better than a plumber, better than a driver is earning in this developed country. They will pay you more than that. And let me tell you, those people earn a lot, when you come out to the area. So that means what you'll be earning will be probably times 2 or times 3, right? So what I'm saying is be encouraged. Put your mind into what is happening with the DSN. Be part of this community and then plug yourself into these international opportunities. Make yourself visible, okay? So thank you very much. Any questions in the next, say 3 minutes or contributions? If you want to speak, maybe you can raise your hand too. But any questions, any comments, anything you want me to say? Awesome. People say they are encouraged. It's inspiring. Hopefully, yes, you receive the slide. I've actually sent it. Oh, somebody actually did the mathematics. He said it's 2.5 million weekly. No, I think that's more than, I think that's, your calculation is more than what I get weekly. It's 2.5. But anyway, it's in millions anyway. So you're not far from the truth. Any questions while I move on? At what skill level can we register on remote sites like TopTal? For TopTal, you have to be really on top of your game. You have to be like an expert because their hiring process, their joining process requires 6 stages of interview. So, but there are other ones, it's Upwork. So if you are really good at something, yes, go to TopTal. But if you are still learning, you can use Fiverr, you can use Upwork. You'll be able to earn as much. But that's how you begin to also already instantly earn much more than you can get in Nigeria. Okay, anybody wants to say something? Let me see if anybody is raising their hands. Well, I see the questions, I see the questions. I'm going to hand over to Lekon to recommence the what's the word now? Recommend the host, comments speaking. So in case maybe anybody wants to ask a question, I can unmute you. But I'm done with my presentation, and I'm glad that you are all saying you're going to take actions. I see people saying they're going to join those platforms and put themselves for opportunities across the world. For a full-time employee, I'm finding it difficult to engage myself in digital skills. What can you recommend someone like me to? No, don't resign. Whatever it is you want to do, you can always do it. Start part-time. Even if you want to start a business, everybody says dip your toe in it slowly. Don't go jump off a cliff. Yes, for some people it works, but then again, in reality, if you start slowly, it will always still work. Your jumping off the cliff is not the meaning. It's not the reason why it will work. It is you're putting your action, your efforts in them. Okay. Which programs can the beginner start with? I'm sure DSN have a lot of programs you can key into, right? So yes, please make sure you reach out to the folks at DSN to be aware of all the things you can key into. Okay, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity, and to the hosts, to Abel, to Anu, to Olalekan for making this possible. I'm going to hand over straight back to you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Thank you very, very much.
And thank you very much. A round of applause for Michael. Thank you very much, Michael. We are really, really proud and appreciative of this impactful session. Please, can we have some response in the chat box, please? Can we just appreciate Michael? This has been very productive. I think it's nothing less of what I said initially. So please, you're welcome to Data Scientists Network. This is DSN Career Fair 2022. I'm sure this first session was very powerful. You can bear me witness. Please, can we have that reaction in-house on the comment section if you feel you...
I think you're on mute, or we can't hear you. I'm not sure if you...
Okay, Michael, thank you very much for this very, very engaging session, for a very, very enlightening session. We really, really appreciate your time. If you actually enjoyed Michael's session, can you drop some fire emojis in the chat box? Let's see the participants appreciate Michael for this enlightening and eye-opening session. Okay, I can see clap emojis, I can see fire emojis. So alongside, while dropping your favorite emojis, I want you to drop also your key takeaways in the chat box. What are your key takeaways in the chat box? Okay, well, for me, I actually wrote a couple of things down. Number one is the world is now a global village. The world is now a global village, and the world of work is changing. The world of work is changing. Now, there are new set of skills, in-demand skills, new set of skills, in-demand skills that makes us stand out as professionals in the 21st century. So in order to be a professional that stands out in the 21st century, you need to be equipped with some of these in-demand skills. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's appreciate Mr. Michael once again with some clap and fire emojis in the chat box. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much, Olalekan. So
you have the floor.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Olalekan. Thank you everyone for joining that session. I think we're just going to move quickly to the next. We're going to be moving quickly to the next speaker who is readily available for us. So we just spoke, and I can see that we had a very fantastic time with Michael. So our next speaker also is readily available to just take us on another journey of how to become data savvy. I mean, to be prepared for the future of work, which is this very bit that we've been talking about since. So I don't know if our speaker is ready. Please kindly confirm to me that she's ready. Okay, so while we're waiting for our speaker, so our speaker is Jennifer Oyelade. She's an international talent acquisition director, Transcriptsite Consulting. Some of our recognitions include top 100 career women in Nigeria 2022 by 9to5T, top 40 HR leaders in Nigeria to follow in 2022 by People Award of Excellence from the African Women Industrialization Awards, and she's the author of Career-Directional Facility, Righting the Wrongs of Professional Development. So I would hand over to my colleague Lekon to quickly do an introduction, read by our profile, then we hand over to Jennifer to quickly take us through our session. Thank you. Lekon, over to you.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you to all the participants for your patience. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you so much for being on this session with us today. So, Jennifer Oyelade is an international recruitment business leader, an EMEA talent acquisition director, employability specialist, writer, author, and mentor. She is a member of the Institute of Recruitment Professionals, MIRP, in the UK, and an organizational change advocate with an extensive career spanning across Europe, Middle East, North America, and Sub-Saharan Africa. As a talent acquisition director, she has spearheaded recruitment and market entry strategies for in-country and global organizations in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, more specifically Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Botswana, South Africa, with the objective of identifying, developing, and empowering talents. Jennifer has also been featured on BBC Africa's Gist Nigeria, on Channels TV, Guardian Nigeria, This Day Nigeria, Punch newspaper, Business Day newspaper, and The Nation newspaper to provide our expertise on career strategy, organization transformation, employee engagement, and capacity building for future growth. As an EMEA consultant, she works with the organizations on bespoke talent acquisition projects, which include diversity and inclusion initiatives, market entry talent strategy, people and culture design, and organizational engineering and transformation. As an employability specialist, Jennifer helps professionals identify their core strengths. As an employability specialist, Jennifer helps professionals identify their core strengths, achieve their career objectives using recession-proof methodologies to weather the storm of economic instability. In partnership with Business AM newspaper, Jennifer also has a weekly column called HR Insights with Jennifer Oyelade, where she writes about career strategy, organizational transformation, human capacity development, gender inclusion, and everything else in between. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, for this awesome profile, can we see some fire emojis in the chat box? For our next speaker, Jennifer Oyelade, can we see some clap emojis in the chat box, some thumbs up emojis in the chat box? Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jennifer Oyelade with our favorite emojis in the chat box. Jennifer, are you ready to lead us on in this session?
Yes, I am. Thank you guys for having me. It's an absolute pleasure being with you guys at DSN. So I would like to share my screen, if that's possible. Okay, just let me know, you guys, when you can see my screen. Let me end from the beginning. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, Jennifer, your screen is up now.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So it's quite jam-packed, so I will make sure that you guys get the slides. But I want to really touch on designing your career development plan as a data scientist, and not just in the data space, but knowing how you can further develop yourselves. So first of all, I want to give you a background on the supply and demand of career leveraging and why it's very important. So as data professionals coming into the market, first and foremost, data is the future of work. I completely agree with Michael in the sense that data is what businesses are using to leverage for insights. It's what HR professionals are using to also develop strategies. It's what business strategists are using to identify their markets. So data is definitely the future of work. But as professionals, I want to show you how you can actually leverage on your sector in order to achieve business objectives. So career leveraging is a supply and demand, right? Supply and demand in the sense of you have the expertise that employers want. So you need to be confident in yourself to leverage on what you know. And how this works is you've got to ensure that you're future ready in terms of your skill set development, in terms of actually mapping out what you want to achieve as a data professional in the workplace. So where do you want to go? Not just as a data professional, but you need to think about sector. You need to think about the actual positions that you want to work in within the data space, whether you want to stick to the analysts, or you want to be a scientist, or you want to be an engineer, or you want to be a project manager. What is your end goal? So I think that is the first thing that we need to recognize is what is your end goal and how are you going to get there? And how you're going to move through the career path is actually through career leveraging. So for every job you have to gain skill that you're going to leverage on for the next step in your career. So look at it as a business transaction. You're looking for a job or an organization where you can learn and grow and develop career opportunities that you can leverage on. And as an employer, they're looking for those same expertise to drive their business. So it's a case of supply and demand. I've got what you need and you've got what I want. So how am I going to leverage on this to ensure that I'm future ready? First and foremost, professional development programs. So as much as we are, developing ourselves professionally, also look at engaging in competitions, leverage on the people that you actually are networking with in the data space, look at mentors, look at how you can actually develop yourself professionally, whether it's by engaging in courses, and if some of the courses may be too expensive, look at some free courses maybe on Coursera or Udemy. A lot of these days, a lot of platforms are understanding how important data is to the future of work. So there are always courses available for you to leverage and develop yourself. Now, as an employer, I will automatically tell you that certifications always give you that edge over your competitors, because not only have you done the academic side of development, you've also taken that one step further to develop yourself professionally. So people who engage in professional development programs also are more likely to get hired. Employers look at people like you as, okay, they haven't just gone to school to learn this. They've actually taken one step further to show that key interest in developing themselves outside of school. So professional development courses are a good way to career leverage. The second one is shadow working. So if you are not employed currently, again, work with mentors, volunteer, see where you can use that information to leverage. Guys, you need to understand that all experience is experience, whether it's paid, whether it's volunteer, whether it's internship, all experience is experience. And you need to include these on your CV. So I've come across a lot of professionals that say, oh, I'm in school. What experience do I have? Being part of DSN in itself is experience. The leverage that you get from working with your peers and your employees and your mentors, all of that is experience. And you need to include that in your CV in order to be recognized by employers as someone who's professionally developing themselves. So as a student, leverage on the networks like DSN. As an employee, leverage on the employers that you work with, leverage on your co-peers in order to develop more skills that you can leverage on. Also, offer yourself as an independent consultant for small SMEs. You'll be surprised that the way the economy is going, a lot of SMEs are coming up in the space. So what they're always looking for is people who are going to make their lives easier, providing data in order for them to be able to achieve their business objectives. So you're not too young or you're not too inexperienced to offer SME consultancy services. You can also pitch yourself into getting opportunities where you can use that again as form of career experience. So whether it's your uncles, cousins, brothers, or any kind of organization as a startup that would need your services, then pitch yourself to them to get career exposure. So that's another area for career leveraging. So again, as I mentioned before, what employers really look for are people who have taken that next step to develop themselves. So don't just look at your academics. Don't just look at, okay, I've done this course and another, which that is also very good, but what have you actually done in order to differentiate yourselves from thousands and thousands of data professionals that are coming up on the African continent? What have you done to differentiate yourself? So every form of development is key. So now, digital development for career advancement. So as you know, it's so funny that Michael said it, because I also believe as well that the world is a global village, and employers, project owners, entrepreneurs, they are all looking for people like you. The fact is that data is a universal language, it's a universal profession that every organization needs in order to be successful. So you have to have that in the back of your mind, especially when you are looking for opportunities. And being the fact that data also works hand in hand with IT, use platforms like Instagram, like Facebook, like LinkedIn, to be able to put yourselves out there to strategically position yourself for opportunities, especially places like LinkedIn, where you see a lot of hiring managers who are looking for people of your skill set to advance their career and their business. So what's the first thing to do to get their attention? Create content. Whether it's issues going on in the world, in the data space, if it's a new software, if it's a new program, always update your professional profile on LinkedIn or Instagram with content that is relevant to today's market. So for example, we are seeing a lot of influx in the economy, whether it's to do with agriculture, whether it's to do with financial data. These are common issues that are discussed in the workplace. So create content using your data knowledge to support the findings that is going on in our world today. And that would also gain interest, and you'll create a platform for yourself as the go-to person for anything industry related. Like we are on today, guys, host webinars with your peers, talking to people about, you know, data science, the future of work, the workplace, any topic that is relevant. Provide webinars where you can even teach people who are even younger than you that are coming up in the data space. And that also is adding to your profile, which will make yourself relevant for career development activities. Create informative engagements, whether they're network events like DSN right now. Use this platform in order to strategically place yourself for opportunities. Companies like DSN, Zindia are all platforms that are connected to organizations through alumni, through events. So these are the platforms where you will create that informative engagement to leverage on your current network. So I just kind of highlighted it in bullet points. So create content, make sure that your content is relevant today in the data space and how people who are non-data professionals can also leverage on data. Host webinars, informative engagement with peers, alumni, leverage on your current network like DSN and learn to upsell. So working with other professionals in competitions, how can you identify opportunities in which you can sell yourself for opportunities? And be selective about your execution. So what that means is, don't say, I want to look for a job and apply for everything and everything. Be very strategic about the people you connect with and also the opportunities you seek. So career mapping. So in career mapping, when you are looking for opportunities, guys, do not be focused so much on the organization. Look at job specification and say to yourself, how can this help me in my next career? So I've given you an example using the sales manager. So I can turn it into, for example, a data analyst. A data analyst in an SME is different from a data analyst in a medium to large organization or a large organization. So don't look at the job title, look at the exposure that that role is going to give you. So what kind of projects are you going to be working on? What's the size of the team? What's the future growth of the organization? So focus more on the role rather than the organization, and that's how you're going to strategically develop yourself for progression. So if I'm looking to go into it, I speak to candidates all the time and they say, oh, Jennifer, I want to work for a multinational. And I always ask, why do you want to work for a multinational? Is it because of the name? Oh, yes, it's the name and the salary. I will burst your bubble, guys. It's not necessarily that the largest organizations are the ones that have the money that you're looking for or the exposure. With the way the world is going now, even SMEs that are having international investments, they have not only the funding that you need, but they create the international opportunities that you're looking for. So focus more on the job set and exactly what skill set that can do for you as a professional and leverage at every single opportunity. So that's what I will say about career leveraging. Now, again, when you're looking at the job spec, ask yourself, does this position that I'm applying for fit in with my career objectives? I know with the way we're going in the world, it's like, I just need to get a job, I need to earn money, but you need to actually be strategic about your career and say that, does this job actually align with my future goals? What would this job do for me in the next 2 to 3 to 5 years? So if I work with this organization for 3 years, what can I learn and leverage on so that when I'm interviewing for another position, I'm in a much better position in order to get the job. So be very careful about the positions you apply for. Be careful also about the environments that you apply for, because one thing employers do not like is job hoppers. Someone who's been here 1 year here, 6 months here, 8 months there. Try to be strategic about your roles, because your objective is to build a career of longevity. Now, here is another topic I love to discuss about is cross-functional expertise. Now, you guys are so lucky that you're in the data space because data is something that exists in every sector, whether you work in HR, whether you work in IT, whether you work in hospitality, whether you work in manufacturing, whether you work any industry you find yourself, data is at the core of that business. So how can you use this to leverage for career development? How you can use this is by creating a niche within the data space. So when I mean a niche, I don't mean by data engineering, but create a business intelligence. So get into IT, understand how healthcare works and how data actually affects healthcare. Find out how data actually affects the IT sector, because what you will now do is develop yourself as a niche within a niche. Data in itself is a niche, but the more you add industry experience to your data knowledge, then you're building yourself as a professional, a unique professional that companies will leverage on because you have experience on both sides of the coin. You are a data specialist and you're also an industry expert. So to give you an example, you now do a professional course in human resources. That data will turn into people analytics. You'll be able to look at HR from a managerial perspective and use data to be able to develop the structure of people, organizations. You'll be able to predict the longevity of an employee within an organization. You'll be able to create employee incentives, all based around the data you collect. Then operations, from a finance perspective, from a management perspective. If you do a course in operations, that also will help you guide how business function in a global workplace. Then information data, which is currently what you're doing, you can use those analytics to work with senior executives to define where they're going to go in terms of, creating a new market, breaking into a new country, breaking into a new product or services. All that information you collect in data.
My apologies. I think Jennifer is having a little bit of technical glitch with our network. Please, let's just hold on a bit and we can just pick it up from there. But while I was waiting for Jennifer, we can just maybe try and drop some of the things that we've learned so far. I mean, for me, it's been a very, very enlightening session for me, starting from selecting your career path to associating with peers to increase your skills. I think this will also be an avenue to also say to you, like she said, DSN offers quite a lot of teachings. I mean, quite a lot of learning content. So we run teachings. I mean, we run learning skills, mentorship, just for you to improve your data and your artificial intelligence skills. And some of my colleagues at the back end will also be dropping some links now for you to become a DSN community member, whereby you're going to have access to some of this content. I mean, learning content. You're going to have access to some mentorship. You're going to have access to career talks like this. You have access to job offers when they're available. So you stand to gain a lot. I mean, a lot in becoming a DSN community member. So some of my colleagues are going to be dropping the link shortly. Just click on the link and you can become a DSN community member. So some of the things that I would also speak to before I take the link would be very clear in one of the things that Jennifer said, is in clarity as to what you want to do. There's no need for you to jump from one career path to another. You see someone that, I just finished school. I'm looking at probably just jumping, or I want to do this, I want to try that. So she's been clear enough to say that you need to create a clear career path and work towards it. I mean, religiously, judiciously. I think we now have Jennifer. So Jennifer, you're welcome back. You're mute in case you're talking.
Oh yeah, I'm apologies. I don't actually know what happened. And I was still talking. I didn't even realize that it had gone off. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you. So
okay. So could you let me know where it went off so I can kind of pick up? Yes, could you let me know where it went off so I can continue?
So you were talking exactly. This is where you so you were almost going to explain this. Yes, the OIST methodology.
Okay, perfect. So with the HOIST methodology, as I mentioned previously, whether you're in human resources, operations, information systems, even within sales, data is very much needed in order for the salespeople to develop their strategy. So, and then again with technology. So wherever you find yourselves as a data professional, you will always be the conduit for the success of every business area. So in terms of professional development, what I'm ultimately trying to say is that as much as you're developing yourself as a data professional, don't ignore the industry around you where you can create that niche. So as I said, using the HOIST methodology, try to absorb different industries in which you can remain relevant. So for example, healthcare is a very big sector right now. We've just, come through a pandemic with COVID. So you can imagine the amount of data that was collected in being able to understand where are the hotspots, where are the highest areas of COVID, what are the success rates of, overcoming COVID. So think of it as a global system. Data is what drives various economies. And in order for you to stay relevant in a very competitive market, adding another certification in a broader spectrum will definitely mean that you turn into an industry expert within the data space. So now, for example, I'll give you an example of an accountant, for example, who has now, adapted data into their work. So if you're a chartered accountant with 6 years experience, and you've now gone and done a course in data analytics and SQL, you'll be more attractive than somebody who is just an accountant, because you have that technical ability to be able to do financial analysis. You'll be able to forecast. You'll be able to use numbers and crunch and say, okay, based on this data, I can then say that by 2025, this organization should have hit this. So you see, there's a lot of ways that data, works within each other in order for businesses to be successful. And again, from an operations perspective, somebody who's also done business management and has also emphasized data into that, again, I can use that data to say, okay, being this business model that we have, I can use data I can manipulate data to say, if we decided to include a new department with a new product, how would that impact our business in the next 3 to 5 years? So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is, you need to look beyond data in order to make your career a success. You need to look at how I can use data to leverage, not just on my career, but how I can use data to leverage in terms of industry. And again, how I can use people skills and soft skills to develop sustainable teams within my network. So another area I want to talk about is career development path, the internal passage versus the external runway. So what I mean by internal passage and external runway, career development can be achieved in various ways. So you can either work within one organization and grow by being promoted from one role to another, or you can do what I've been talking about so far, which is career leveraging, and then, going from one organization to another, leveraging on what you have learned within that organization. So there's 2 different types of career pathways, but what you need to understand is when is the right time to move without being labeled a number of things. So if you move too quickly, an employer will label you as a job hopper. Why haven't you stayed there long enough to gather enough information or to gather enough expertise to move on and leverage? So within 6 months, you can't tell me you've been able to master every element of data analytics within 6 months. Really, you can't. So why why would you hop around without putting your foot down to gather so much knowledge so that you can use that knowledge to leverage later on? So employers are not very great with job hoppers. But then at the same time, you can't spend too long in an organization, or an organization will say that you're stagnant and complacent. So for example, staying in one organization for 10 years, for example, yes, it looks good in the terms of, yes, you have, you know, longevity, you stayed there for long, but an employer may say you stayed there for too long, so you might not be challenged enough, or you might be too stuck in your ways that you're not able to adapt to a new environment. So you've got to be able to balance the two and know when is the right time to make that career move. What I would say is, once you can do your job in and out with your eyes closed, and every day seems as though it's the same, and you can literally predict what is going to happen tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and next week and next month, then at that time, it's probably time to move on. So I think that's the best way to gauge. Now, another thing, a negative impact of not knowing when to, you know, to move on in terms of career development and not understanding your career path and what you want to do, is you don't want to be known as a jack of all trades and a master of none. You know, so you find a lot of people who will say, yes, you know, I'm a data scientist and I do analytics. No, they will say I'm a data analytics, but I do engineering here and I do this one here and I do that one there. You know, you, even within data, there is an area that is your strongest points, right? Even as a data scientist, there is some areas that are you're more stronger than the other. So in terms of those two, in terms of that, you need to also recognize what that strength is and hone on it and develop it. I'm not saying you should ignore any other strength, but you need to move where you know that your strength works for you as a professional. So from a development perspective, you've got to understand where are your strengths, how are you going to develop your strengths, and in terms of career development, how are you going to use those strengths to leverage for your next position? So I've kind of done a table here in terms of how internal career development works, which is moving through the lines and its, you know, and its pros and its cons. So if you're moving internally, you will definitely be a preferred candidate if they were recruiting from outside, because you're already into the system, you already understand the organization. But a negative aspect is that your salary may remain the same, or there might not be much leverage in terms of your salary. Now, from an external perspective, if you develop yourself externally by moving from company to company, you're adapting to new information, new sectors, as I mentioned before. You could be a data scientist in a financial institution and also be a data scientist in a, you know, in a healthcare organization. So moving externally also has its benefits, because you're becoming a well-rounded professional, which you can leverage on for future reference, because you've got that industry knowledge to back up your financial data experience. And evaluating your expertise. So guys, you need to understand, apart from the fact that you're in a strategic position, you need to understand how to leverage financially on your expertise. So as I said, going into mentorship, going into you know, SME consulting, these are ways for you to evaluate your expertise. You need to be able to upsell and skill and sell yourself to organizations, being the fact that I have something that you need. I know I can predict what your business is going to do in the next 3 to 6 months. I can predict, or I can use this data to determine what your consumers want to buy. I can determine what time you need to put out your social media or your media strategies. I can determine who engages in what. So you need to be comfortable in your skin, and you should pitch yourself to organizations about what you can do for them. And then once you get them to buy into you, then they can show you what they can do for you by paying you what you deserve in terms of your career development and your expertise. So the future of work. So the future of work, as we've all said, is very technology driven. But as we said, data management, analytics, mining, and interpretation is the key to what organizations are looking for. So organizations now are working smart. and not hard. And they're operating on a lean management structure, which means they don't have so much money to make errors. So this is where you as data analysts come in. This is where you as data professionals come in. You will cut their costing by providing solutions, and they're ready to pay you top dollar for it because it means that you are stopping them from making errors that will affect them in the future. So the future of work is reliant on data management. It's reliant on business intelligence. That means your understanding of the sector that you're working in. So as I said, invest heavily in not just data, but the sector that you want to, to have expertise in. So you can vary those sectors, but having knowledge of a little bit of everything will definitely make a huge impact. Then remote working. Now, employers like people who can balance the difference between working on site and remote working, and that comes with your discipline. So as you're leveraging for career opportunities, leverage on yourself and your personal management skills. So again, another thing that employers look for in terms of career development is how you're able to manage relationships. So again, observe, participate in sessions with DSF and look at who can I build relations with? Who can I observe in terms of building relationships with for career development? Participate in sessions like these. Encourage people as well. So as much as it's about yourself, the more you leverage on each other, the more as a community you will grow. And also you nurture those relationships. So don't just come on this platform and say, oh, I've had a great webinar. What are you going to do with this information to move forward? It's not about absorbing, it's what you do with it. So nurture your growth. Again, this is just a summary of the kind of professional development courses to look at. So things that follow that, cover business intelligence, data analysis, business strategy, people analytics, operation, project management, all of these areas, if you infuse it with your knowledge on data, I can tell you that you will be irreplaceable in the market. Yes, so the three L's of career progression is to learn, leverage, and lead. If you can learn to leverage on all your skills that you have learned thus far, and what you will continue to learn as you go on along in your career, the environments you will thrive in will work for you. And the people you will engage with will automatically be drawn towards you because you have something to deliver. So I hope you've enjoyed my session. I know it was a bit long-winded and we got cut off, but you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I've left all my social media handles here. So that's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I would say I'm, out of all the platforms, I'm probably most active on LinkedIn. That's my playground. So feel free to connect with me, ask me questions. I know this presentation was a bit, cut and join, but by all means, please reach out. I will give DSN these slides as well, so you can actually have a chance to go through them in much detail. And then you can come back to me, connect with me on LinkedIn, ask me any questions, and I'll be more than happy to help you. And I'll answer any questions you have. So thank you very much, DSN. It was a pleasure.
A round of applause for Jennifer, please. Let's give it up for Jennifer. Thank you very much, Jennifer. Really appreciate your time. That was a very enlightening presentation. So though you said it was bulky, but it was quite enlightening. Like it's clarifying now. So as a person, I think it justifies the objective of this session, talking about the clarity as to choosing a career path and how to stick to it. I mean, learning vigorously and not swifting one bit from the path which you have chosen. So I think on behalf of the whole team, I want to say thank you very much to you, and on behalf of all of our participants also, I can see that reaction in-house. I'm not sure you can probably also see it. I'm sure you can probably see that. Yes. They have a lot of thank you from everyone. So I want to appreciate you so very much for your time, and also for giving us this out of your very busy schedule to really come around and speak to us about this. So we really appreciate it so very much. Thank you very much once more. Okay, so
pleasure.
Yeah, so I'll be moving quickly because of our time to our next presentation. So before we move on, I would just love for us to just please confirm that you can still see my screen. So I'll just move on to this video. So this is a video of AI researcher at Yaba speaking to DSN. So I'll just play, kindly watch and enjoy. Very much once again. I hope that was a refresh. So that's a little video showing AI research up at Yaba. So that's DSN, Data Scientist Network. So thank you to all of our speakers. We've had a very enlightening, productive, and I think a career charting part for the past few minutes. I was going to we've been speaking to our speakers. So quickly, we're going to be moving into introducing the CV clinic and the reviewers. So some of our CV reviewers are on call. They're just going to be saying hello to us. So the CV clinic brief, I'll just run through the brief. So you have to create your career plan based on the idea of the guide to developing your career plan shared in the last session, right? You submit a PDF copy of the career plan and your CV via feedback form that will be shared with you after this event. Then the first 15 entries that made a valid submission will qualify for a free career advice and CV diagnostic session. Now, our qualified individuals would be assigned to a reviewer to confirm meeting date, while qualified individuals would be invited to a virtual one-on-one meeting with the reviewer. So this is what the CV clinic brief is really about. So you create a career plan based on the idea of the guide to developing your career plan shared in the last session, just sessions that were spoken to. Then you have to submit a PDF copy of the career plan through a feedback form that we're going to be sharing after this event. The first 15 entries that made a valid submission will qualify for the career advice and the CV diagnostic session. All the qualified individuals will be assigned to a reviewer to confirm meeting date, and qualified individuals will be invited to a virtual one-on-one meeting with our reviewers. So let's quickly meet our reviewers. So meet our CV reviewer, Emmanuel Samuel. So he's an HR professional with Flutterwave. Emmanuel Samuel is an HR professional who operates within the tech ecosystem. His experience as an HR professional has exposed him to crafting job profiles and reviewing CVs for talent across various roles, including tech roles. Emmanuel has over 6 years experience reviewing and writing CVs and cover letters. He holds an MBA degree from Obafemi Awolowo University. So let's give it up for Emmanuel. Do we have Emmanuel in-house? Please, Emmanuel, confirm if you're in. Okay. So I think Emmanuel is not in, or peradventure is having a network issue. Okay, so we can just move on. That's one of our reviewers, person of Emmanuel Samuel. Okay, so our next CV reviewer would be Ukoha Success. So Ukoha Success is a professional HR manager, human resource manager, recruitment job thought leader, and an employee relations specialist with over 3 years distinguished experience in full circle recruitment across multiple industries, both national and international. He's a graduate of the prestigious Thron Business and Management Institute, Switzerland, with a master's degree in business administration MBA in Human Resource Management, DIPHRM in Human Resource Management. UKOA Success is results-oriented and has added enormous value to its prospective organization, ranging from its core management skills and expertise. UKOA Success is also the founder of New Careers Consulting. He has recorded over 3,000 job success amongst and across multiple industries. Let's give it up for Success UKOA if he's on the call. Hi, Success, are you on the call? Okay, I think I saw him at the point. So let's assume that should be his network. Okay, so quickly we're going to move in on. So those are CV reviewers. So I would employ you at the end of this session. The feedback form is going to be shared with you. Please kindly take a very good good opportunity of this. Take good measure of this opportunity so that you can also at least have your CV reviewed and you're well better and positioned for future opportunities that will arise. So let's watch this video.
The fourth industrial revolution will raise our standard of living and solve various challenges we face. It will, for example, free us from the stress of driving, allowing us to save. The fourth industrial revolution will raise our standard of living and solve various challenges we face. It will, for example, free us from the stress of driving, allowing us to safely visit anyone, anytime. We will have access to the latest medical advancements at a low cost, no matter where we are. AI and robots will enhance human ability and expand our infinite possibilities, helping us enjoy more fulfilling lives.
So thank you very much for staying tuned. I was just informed that one of our CV reviewers is on the call, and we just have to take a little message from him. Hi, Success. Are you available now, Emmanuel Success?
Okay. Good evening, everyone from Lagos, Nigeria. This is Emmanuel Samuel on the call.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no issues. Yes, so first I want to appreciate the DSN for putting this together. I've been on for a couple of minutes now, and I've really had insightful lessons from the speakers. And also I also want to appreciate the DSN for having me on board to contribute my little quota to this course. Yes, so I'm looking forward to the one-on-one session with those I'll be selected to have it with me. And I believe that you definitely get value for your time. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I really appreciate that. Apologies for missing your name. So I think it was just a mix-up. So thank you very much. So if you're still with me, I don't want to say you're welcome. Thank you for staying on the call. This is DSN Career Fair 2022. I hope it's been a short time. It promises to be one since we kicked off. And I really want to get your feedback if you have enjoyed the event so far, if you have been enjoying the event so far. Please kindly drop, let's get a little bit of interaction in the chat box. Do you have anyone that has enjoyed this so far? I think Emmanuel also testified to that now. So let's get feedback from anyone in-house. Do we have everyone enjoyed if you have enjoyed this so far? Let's see that. Let's keep it coming. Yes, I can see yes from Olawale. Roland, thank you, it's been superb, yeah. So great session, Emeka. Prince, yes, please let's keep it coming. Thank you very much. I think it's been a very, 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 very interesting session. even for me as a person. I've had cause to learn a lot. So thank you very much to all of our speakers once again. And thank you to our CV reviewer who took our time to join. Emmanuel, really appreciate you. We appreciate your time, and we're very glad to have you. So quickly, we're going to be moving to another important session in this event called the breakout room. So now we're going to be assigned to breakout rooms, or you might probably just need to join. So please kindly look at this closely, look at it very well. You would need to choose and probably just move into the room that you'd love to discuss. So these are industry experts who we have secured, and they are on the call. They are live and direct to discuss with you as you'd love to choose any part in all of these stated categories. So for data scientists and analyst career path, we have brought Olalekan Akinsandew, who is a strong data scientist and a friend of the house, who would be available to take you through on what you need to put together, what you need to do as regards that. Then for business analyst and business intelligence, we have Oladipo Olabode, also who is also a friend of the house, a very strong friend of the house, and is readily available to really take you through what is expected. So data analytics and data engineering, Okoyemi Fabi will be handling that for us. You're welcome, Okoyemi. And for no code or low code and workplace automation, Olanrewaju Oyiboke, apologies if I pronounced your name wrongly, would also be will be handling that. Olanrewaju happens to be a very good friend of the house also. And finally, we have for AI researcher, we have our very own Wura Ola Oyewusi. Hi, Wura, so happy to have you. So please, guys, feel free to join the breakout rooms now, and let's quickly have a chit chat. Let's have a very good time with our industry experts who would be readily available to take us through the necessary parts to becoming data savvy and data specialized according to what the team of our event is running through and what we are working with. So see you in the next few minutes. Thank you. I expected to join the breakout room as all of our speakers are waiting, all of our industry experts are waiting for you over there. Please do well to join.
Yeah, hi, Ope. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, please.
Okay, I think you might need to move to your breakout room now. That would be the analytics engineer. Just confirm if you are there. I can see about, I think close to 30 people waiting for you already.
Yeah, I'm trying to join that. I'm having a bit of difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we have quite a number of people.
So can you please add me directly, because I'm having a bit of issue.
Oh, okay. Let me just look for you here.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think it should be in now. Okay, so for others that are having probably difficulty joining, I might just have to do this. No, Okoyemi is joining the call shortly. People are already requesting you to join them. Okay. Okay, let me start from, I think we're having about 30 something people. So Abdusalam Isaac, where would you like to move to if you're able to? Okay, sorry. Just have to move you guys. We have quite a lot of people here to join. Let's see. She's done that. If you're unsure how to do this, you could just put it in the chat, the room you prefer to move to. So we just do that help to move you there straight away. Okay. Okay, please. All right, that's Oluwafemi Olashopo. All right, please just hang on. You'll be added to the data scientist room now. So if you're having issue, just drop it in the chat. We'll find a way to assign you immediately to the right room you prefer. Okay. So I have Jegede Tope. Please, which room do you prefer to move to? Like, we could just drop it on the chat. I'll push you there immediately. This is again, I need to link to data set. Oluwa Modupe, okay. The analytics, again, this is science and analytics. Tony. Where's Tony? Hello, Wahab Fasiat. So if you're having issue joining your preferred room, just let us know. Salaudin, please, if you're having any issue joining your room, just drop it in the chat, the room you prefer to join. If you're having issue joining a breakout room, please just drop it in the chat, your preferred room, so we can move you there. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to this session. So thank you very much to everyone. I know it's been a very enlightening session. We're almost not going to have the whole team back. So so what we'll do is this, like you all know DSN, every of our speaker, they are all friends of DSN. So which means you can always have access to these people. I mean, directly or indirectly. But to all of our speakers, to all of our break room hosts, we want to say thank you to them. Thank you to Olalekan Akinsande, who has always been a friend of the house, who is also a part of the family. Thank you to Olalekan. Thank you to Oladipupo Olabodi. Really appreciate your time. Okpeyemi Fabi, thank you very much. Even though I think you had an issue with your connection at the point, trying to probably kick off the session. Thank you very much, Oladipupo Olabi. Olanrewaju, Okpeyemi Fabi rather. Olanrewaju Oyinboke, thank you very much. Apologies if I didn't pronounce the name well. So thank you very much for always coming and giving back to DSN. We are really, really appreciative of your time. I mean, your commitment, your support of the vision. Thank you very much. And to our very own Wura Ola. Hi, Wura. I miss you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for always giving back to DSN. We appreciate you so very much. Thank you for your time. We know it's been it's a public holiday, and it's out of your busy schedule that you've actually dedicated time to giving back to us and always pushing for this vision. We are very proud of you. We know, like we always get to say, DSN is a family, and that's why we're taking this time to welcome everyone again into the family. So thank you very much to all of our speakers who have taken our time. I think I actually toured all of the rooms, and they were powerful sessions. I mean, calling off at that very time, I'm sure it wasn't what people would have loved to do, but we had to because of time. So thank you very much, everyone, once again. This, I hope, has given you more insight into pursuing a career in one of these key lines that were brought up. And please, never you get to forget that you also have opportunity